Hello. So we are going to apply a texture to our model. We've created our chair. We've UV mapped it, the chair cushion, and now we are going to apply what is called a normal map to the cushion to give it some texture. Okay. So here we have within the Photoshop and Maya textures assignment. Here I am home. Scroll down to Photoshop and Maya textures. I'm going to select that. And right here we have the woven fabric normal map. I'm going to go ahead and right click on it and go to save image as. I will save it in the same folder that I have located my chair file. So here's a folder for the chair. I'll save it there. And so I'll go ahead and do that. It says JPEG image. Okay. From this point, here I have it open in Maya. I still am in the UV editing workspace. I have my UV editor open. But I want to open up my hypershade. Remember previously, I have UV mapped it. I UV mapped the cushion. I duplicated the cushion so that it had the same UV map on both. I've applied the texture in Hypershade. So I will open up Hypershade. I can simply open it right here. This button here with the blue circle, the white circle inside, that's the Hypershade. I see where I have attached here, I called my material red vinyl. This is actually going to be more of a woven material we're going to put on it, so I'll probably change the name. Here I've selected the material for it that's on the cushions. You see the color. I'm going to scroll down here on the right here. This is in the Hypershade. I scroll down to this part that says, we see all our colors and everything, base, specular. I'm going to scroll down to this section that says geometry. And I'm going to expand geometry. So I've done that. When I expand geometry, you see where it says bump mapping. I am going to click this box next to it, bump mapping, and this window opens that says create render node. I will click file. Now this window is opened. You can see here in my Hypershade, this thing that's plugged in, it says bump 2D1. That's the same window here. There's this thing here that says file. There's this thing here that says place 2D texture. And they're all plugged in here in this node, the red vinyl node. They're plugged right into this area that says normal camera. So that's how we know it's making a normal map, right? So bump 2D1 right here. We can see where it says bump value, and there's this box with an arrow here. Bump value is then has a file plugged into it right here, file 1. That's what we asked it to do. Okay, so right here where it says file 1, I'm going to click image name and browse. And I'm going to find the texture map that I created. Textures, woven fabric nm.jpg. I'll click open. Okay. So there we see it. We see it applied. We can see it here. Red vinyl. In case you've the reason I'm explaining this whole structure to you, this hierarchy, where it's plugged in, is I could just tell you, okay, do this, do this, do this, do this in what order. But in case you click off something, like you click this, then where is it? Where is my thing? Where am I going? We can see it here. If I'm clicking the material, here's geometry, bump mapping. We click that, and it says there, file 1. And that's what is here. Plugged into normal camera, the bump 2D right here. And then what's plugged into that again is file 1 right here. And what is file 1? File 1 is the fabric that we've just applied to it. Woven fabric NM, right? Okay, I'm going to go to renderer. And right here where it says viewport 2.0, I can put that on Arnold. And when I do, if you have a thing here, this is the stop button, but if it's a play button, you can push it for play. And you can see this render out, and we can see the woven texture that's been applied to it. Move out, we can see it. Let it render. And there we go. So we've applied that texture. We see it rendered out. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to, we could do a couple things. We could render this. Right here we have our render view. I could also do it here. I think I can do it right in this window. Here. My render view is here. If I click here, this clapboard with the eye on it, that's the render view. Yours might look like mine, or it might actually look like this one, the beauty pass and the red button, and that is totally okay. I create. You can click the play button if it looks like the Arnold render, this one, or this one, this other clipboard. I see the image. Oops, there it is. I want to zoom out enough so that I can see. Here, I'll click escape. I'm going to stop it. I want to zoom out enough where I can see the chair. Here, let's see. Escape. Escape. I click if I want to stop the render so that I can actually move this into view. There we go. Okay, escape because it's still not where I want. Let's see. So I'll click Alt, right mouse button, click to zoom out a little bit, and I will render it again. Escape. Just do a little bit more. And what I can also do, I can do this, I can render it. There we go. So this looks good. I'll let that render out. From this point, I see this here. I have my render. I have it applied. I can go ahead and go to File, Save Image. And that should be able to save it. I can save it into the same folder I was in. Call this chair. I'll call it my last name, Bannon _ chair. And then texture. Okay. And that will render or save the render. That's good. I can do that and turn that in. I can also turn in my file. So I will go to File, Save Scene, of course, Control S. And then after that, what I want to do is I can go to File, Archive Scene. Archive Scene. File, Archive Scene. And you can see that here, the result that it creates here on the bottom, this status bar. If I close this and I close out the Hypershade, I can see it right here on the bottom. Well, it was there. But basically where this file is saved, and you can see where the file is saved. Users, Documents, School, Art 185, Spring 23, chair.mb, right? That's where I've saved it. But also there is a zip file. It's called chair.mb.zip. And that zip file is what I want to turn in. When I archived my scene, it created a zip. And in that zip, it has everything. It has the Maya file. It also has the texture maps that are attached to the Maya file. You want to turn this in. You want to have this because that is what you want to use when you're going back and forth. If you're delivering this an item to somebody, if you're working in a studio or you're doing it freelance and you're selling somebody an object, you want to give them the zip file with the textures attached to it. Okay, so that's very important, and that's what we will be turning in here to the this assignment for Photoshop and Maya textures. Alrighty, thank you.